Hello, this is Joe and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm here in the campsite accommodation in the construction company that I'm working for here in Saudi Arabia. And currently I'm in a 7-day self-quarantine and I'm a little bored, so why not make a vlog? So in this video, I'm going to talk about my personal experience, my journey from my job application to my processing and my flight all the way from the Philippines to here to Saudi Arabia. So keep on watching and don't forget to subscribe. For starters, I am only 22 years old. My first job was at Department of Public Works and Highways Regional Office 8, so I worked there for 1 year. So it was time to go to Manila to process everything. So I went to my agency. The first thing I did is I fill up the forms, and then on that same day, they scheduled me for a medical examination. So I was scheduled for my medical examination the next day. So it was my second day in Manila. So there are different medical exams you have to undergo. It depends on your job. You could be land-based or sea-based. There are different exams and you have to pass all the tests that you undergo for them to certify that you are fit to work abroad. So after my medical, the next step was my biometrics. So my agent, she's trying to book me for a schedule for my biometrics, and I think it took about 2 weeks from my medical to my scheduled day for my biometrics. I think part of it was the scheduling. It was delayed because of the cases of the coronavirus in NCR. It's very high. The establishments, they're only limited, so you really have to be scheduled for it for you to go there. The next process was my visa stamping. So my agent called me, I reported to the agency, and my visa was already stamped, and she gave me a photocopy of my working visa. Next is the contract signing. So I was told to go back to the agency for the contract signing, and this is really important. You should understand your contract. You should read it before you sign it. You should know everything that is stated in the contract. So what I did was I asked for a photocopy, and I even took a picture of my contract because it is really important. I was scheduled for the pre-departure orientation seminar. Because of the pandemic, everything is online. At the time, it was ECQ, then they moved it to modified ECQ. So what you get from your PDOS is your certificate of attendance. And in the pre-departure orientation seminar, it is discussed there. They give some tips, they give some advice, and they show how everything is being processed. It's finally time for my booking schedule. So initially, I was booked for April 16, and this is really important. 1 week before your flight, you should monitor for some changes. My flight was Thursday on that week, and so on Monday, I finalized everything that I should bring. I was told that I was only allowed to bring 1 hand carry and 1 check-in luggage that should not exceed 23 kilos for the check-in and 7 kilos for the hand carry. So on Tuesday, I was scheduled for my PCR test. So the validity of my swab test result is 3 days or 72 hours. It's really important that you have a photocopy or a picture of your negative swab result because they will look for it for you to be allowed to enter NAIA Terminal 1, and it's really important you have that. So on the day of my flight, I was ready. I was scheduled for 1 p.m. bound to Saudi Arabia. So our meet up time in the airport was 8 a.m. So it's really important that you should be there 3 to 4 hours before your flight. I have with me all the important and essential documents I need in the airport to travel. You need to bring your passport, your working visa, your overseas employment certificate, your contract, your negative PCR test result, and I also brought with me my PDOS attendance certification. Before entry, they will see your ticket, then you go inside, you go to the airline counter where you will check in your luggage and they will issue your boarding pass. My experience, they asked for my passport and my ticket and my negative PCR test. So after that, I went to the immigration and I filled up a form and they asked me a few questions. So you really need to be confident with yourself, and you should know your contract, the details, and everything. So after that, I went to the boarding gate and waiting for further announcements. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something from this video. I hope I inspired you a bit. And don't forget to subscribe and let's support each other, achieve our goals and dreams in life, and be happy.